Hello there, and welcome to a Valheim episode. While usually I do Super Mario Maker 2 episodes, today I wanted to show off a sort of a fun little stunt that I did, trying to see if I could beat Bonemass with only arrows, as a bit of a challenge based on when I was playing this with friends. We had a bunch of us who were shooting arrows at Bonemass and beat him, wanted to see if we could prove it that you could just beat it solo. So I'm going to go through the playthrough that I have and the base that I set up with regards to doing this solo very shortly, but hope you enjoy this video and hope you try this out yourselves. Okay, so here we go, ludicrous amount of arrows. I believe I calculated it was about 1,073 arrows, so quite a large number of arrows. Just getting the withered bones, sacrificing them to the altar. Now we're sacrificing them to the altar. Big angry sparks fly. And here we go. So running away, going back into what I dubbed Fort Bonemass. Basically had this little entrance in the back. Hoped he wouldn't ever find this back entrance. Not that it would really make a big deal, but I had raised the earth kind of around this tower so that he would have a lesser chance of being able to get to it, but I didn't do that in the far back so I could actually get in. The whole tower itself is actually lifted on probably at least like 3 Viking heights worth of stones, so that that's unbreakable, so hoping that he won't be able to break it. For all these arrow scenes, we're going to do it times 8 speed, just because it would take forever otherwise. At this point I already knew that there was a good chance we're going to be able to actually beat this boss, because we're, even with some of the weakest arrows in the game, we're slowly doing damage to him. So it should just be a matter of time that if we can do enough damage to him, or shoot enough arrows at him, we should be able to beat him. But little did I realize that it was going to be a little more challenging than I expected, because this pile of giant green goo from, I guess, piles of ancient bodies, I guess, had a little bit of intelligence, I guess a combined intelligence of all those combined bodies, or whatever, that make up this crazy creature. You sort of realize that I actually don't think there's anything I can do about this tower, and if I stay here, I'm just going to get pummeled with arrows to death. Alright, peace out. So, here, there's this giant, ugly green thing, and I need to go and find him. It's like, where are you going, bro? So here we're like looking deep in the swamp, like, where the heck did this giant guy go? Here we go, hiding behind a tree. He's like, oh, I think you saw me. Really thin now, really thin. Hope you didn't see me. I don't think you saw me. I think I'm good. I think I'm good. Lo and behold, we did see him finally going over to this shrine. We see him almost going to the water. He's like, I'm almost free. If I can just not get hit by an arrow, I won't get this urge to kill the Viking. Oh no, there he is! And the rain starts, and now we're going back to super fast speed as I'm trying to lure this dude all the way back to the tower. So here we go, just doing a flurry of arrows, and he's a little stuck. Like, wait, can somebody tell me how to get around these trees? There's just so many trees. I don't quite fit here. Enough zooming around, go back to the tower, hoping at this point that I can just go up and just rain arrows down from above. Again, we've done about maybe a 5th or 6th damage to him so far. It'd be nice to be able to pummel him with a bunch more arrows to make a bit more progress. But as we go up top here again, Bonemass like, oh, I think he thinks I'm going to the tower. I think we're good. I think we can leave, guys. I think we're out. Let's peace. So alas, like, ugh. Giant goo creature, just stay here so I can rain you with arrows. So first he's sending his little minions here, get rid of those. Basically much angry versions of the slimes that you fight in Stardew Valley. There we go, little skeleton. Good thing these guys are basically paper. And a few more spawnlings, so the big dude can't be too far off, and there he is in all of his scary glory. At this point I was excited and a little bit afraid. I was like, he's actually getting kind of close to the keep. Hopefully he doesn't break it somehow. And hopefully I don't somehow get damaged by him, because I actually have no idea how he attacks or what when you're up close to him, because as much as possible I try to play this game from a range. But now, where did he go? I believe he's just behind that giant tree there. I didn't realize how big of an issue those trees on the left would be, that he'd be spending so much time hiding behind those trees. But here we go, triggered him again, able to do a little bit of damage. You can see that every once in a while I'm hitting with arrows and his HP is trickling down, but it is a little challenging given just how far away he is. So try to get a little bit of a height advantage, and was able to hit him quite a bit more here comparatively to before, but once again he's gone a little bit too far that it seems like it's kind of hard to hit him with the arrows anymore. So given a lot of these back and forths, I figured this would be a good time to, you know, just leave. So just leave back to the meadows, a good safe base. A good safe base. And there we go, just repair everything. Again, ideally you would have brought maybe a few different bows there, so that you wouldn't have to keep repairing them, but alas, that's what we did here. Okay, once again he's getting lost behind the trees, so that was a bit of a problem. Yeah, I don't quite remember if we're able to hit him again here. Nope, so here we go, out again on an adventure to see if we can lure back this giant pile of green goo back to our tower. Getting rid of the spawnlings again. Gotta do a little bit of exploring. Just gotta love this super dark, always raining swamp. Oh, there we go, another friend. Strangely though, these guys are easier than the slimes in the Stardew Valley, at least the ones in the higher level caverns. Okay, so where are you, buddy? There we go, I think we can see a big pile of green on the left, but first just taking care of anything that can kill us on the right. There we go, showing off my not so excellent marksmanship here. Okay, so now it looks like again, once we're doing the same maneuver, going back to this shrine. Bonemass is trying to find his ocean getaway. Okay, there we go. Sitting on a log. This time I kind of have an idea of how things are going to go, so I didn't bother going on the shrine, just kind of wait long enough. And now we're going to try and be a little more careful with regards to luring him. It's kind of slowly bringing him back. Don't quite race back to the tower as fast as I did before. Finally back at the tower. So, for some reason I was always paranoid about making sure that there wasn't going to be anything that come in. I don't even know if anything could successfully climb in up that ladder, just because of how kind of weird it is to go up ladders in Valheim here, but... Okay, so now we can finally see that Bonemass is really close to the tower. At this point I was a little bit afraid. I didn't know whether or not he was actually going to be someone to do damage, but now he's finally in this spot where we can just kind of rain arrows for a while, do a lot of damage. So here there's actually a stone wall at the bottom that he's destroyed now, that was sitting on top of a pile of earth. So the good thing about that is I think it gave him an incentive for something to attack. And then I'm not entirely sure what he was doing at this point. Again, usually he was just kind of running away. Theoretically, if one was so inclined, they could build a little up barrier, I guess, around the skull just to force Bonemass to be stuck in that location. If you had that much time and energy, I guess. But now he's finally just fighting here. We can see as his health is constantly raining down, but unfortunately our arrow health is also, or bow health is also basically at 0, so we have to do a little toodle whip, repair, and we're back. So, but of course, Bonemass has now been like, wait, there's some guy who was fighting here and he's gone, so I guess maybe I think my flight is, or my boat's about to leave. So he was heading back to the beach. But here we go. He's like, okay, before I go, I'm going to throw a little slime at you. There we go. So now his health is finally going down again, but he's wandering away in the way that I don't want him to go to. I'd rather he go on the raid. Another good reason why you might want to have both a lot of bows and the stamina mead. Again, with the arrows, you're not really going to be taking any damage. So there's no point in worrying about the 50% debuff to health regen. Be better to have a 300% increase to stamina, but alas, I did not use that here. But if you had many bows and that stamina mead, you'd be able to do this fight way faster. So yeah, he's gone pretty far away again, kind of in a different direction this time. So I've left the base and now gone closer to him than I ever have, I think, sort of outside, trying to lure him back. He's trying to do some long-range damage. I think at that point I was already figuring that I'd probably aggroed him enough. There we go, angry Bonemass. Remember turning around and seeing him like that, like, holy smokes, and then turn back. So we go back up here, and lo and behold, he's kind of back in our favorite place. So I always thought I'd have the bow out already, and then I'd end up punching and worried that I was just going to punch myself off the wall. But here we go, lobbing arrows down again. Good time to talk about the kinds of arrows. So I had wooden arrows, fire arrows, and iron arrows. So the fire arrows, I don't think they did a whole lot of damage, but they did a little bit of damage extra over time. The wooden arrows did, I think, somewhere between 12 and 16 damage. Then the iron arrows did somewhere between 16 and 20 damage. And when you consider the extra 2 feathers and 1 iron bar, and iron is kind of annoying to get because you have to be in the swamp, which is, you know, not the best. It's not really worth it, especially for this boss, when you can just use wooden arrows. So, and only do like 3 to 4 ticks less damage each time. So now we've done so much damage to him, but once again, we see our bow up in the top left there is nearly broken. So there we go, Bonemass once again almost dead, but we need to go do this kind of loop-de-loop. And there we go, we're back. And it's no longer raining, because it only rains when Vikings and this pile of goo are fighting each other for some reason. Okay, so finally doing some of these last ticks of damage. Slowly whittling him down. You can kind of get a sense of how long this usually took, rather than looking at times 8 speed like I was doing before. Oh gosh. Yeah, in case I didn't mention it, about 1,073 arrows to start. As we're getting near to the end here, we end up using about 763 arrows or something like that is what I remember getting to this point. So now Bonemass is starting to run away again. It's just like, come on, just stay. I mean, what, at this point, don't you just want to be put out of your misery? Do you really want to just wander the swamp forever where there's nothing living that theoretically will ever come here because this is some kind of a purgatory for Vikings? But here we go, finally coming back, realizing that his fate is near. His time is nearing its end. There we go. As you can see, his health just ticking. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. The mass is no longer moving. Thank goodness. Again, this took quite a long time in real playing time. Again, all those sped up sections were 8 times speed. So while it's probably faster to beat him not with arrows, it's certainly safer to do it with arrows and with just this very safe little keep. Again, if you want to spend a whole lot of extra time trying to beat him, you could certainly build up a bunch of walls around his skull so that he'll be stuck somewhere in that vicinity to make it a little bit easier, but I don't know how far away he can typically spawn around his skull, so hopefully you can just kind of get him close and get him stuck and then just have a lot of bows and arrows that you can just kind of go back and forth. So here, again, here's where the stone walls were, and those were the ones that were destroyed by Bonemass. The stone walls used to go all the way around the keep, so that is the one little piece of damage that was taken there. there we have it. So you can take down Bonemass using Fort Bonemass lifted up on a bunch of dirt so that he can't break the tower. You can build whatever you want on top. In fact, probably most of it isn't necessary, but just enough to have a roof. Ideally bring more than one bow, bring tons of arrows, and make sure you aggro him enough to the tower. And after you've done that, now I built this little extra barrier around just in case you could get close to it. I don't know if he could have done any damage, I don't think so. It was already raised quite a bit higher, but just as an extra precaution. He broke down some of the walls here, but really not a big deal. Sort of trapped some of the oozes, I guess, in there. But there we go, there we have it. Pretty cool little fort. And a pretty fun battle. All it took was 1,000 arrows, and there we go, now he's dead. Alright, talk to you later, peace.